when I reflect on my own heart, I come to the conclusion that my biggest problem with evangelism is actually my lack of love. It's easy for me to abstractly, theoretically say, of course, I know I'm supposed to love people, so of course I love people. But my biggest problem is actually oftentimes my lack of love, my lack of prayerfulness for the non-believer in front of me. My biggest problem is not a lack of techniques or how hard the soil is or the most difficult challenges of our culture. My biggest issue is an issue of love. And sometimes, if we ask the question, why does the church struggle to reach the atheist community or the gay community or the transgender community? Right alongside that, we have to ask the question, do we really love those communities of people? And is that being expressed in the sacrifices that we are making for those communities of people? Because if we don't have love as the starting point, then all the techniques, right, all of the clever answers to the most difficult questions, none of that's going to matter. And just to finish this part, I so often just overlook this passage as this is the overused wedding passage. I kind of get to that point and I just barely skim it. I just kind of, almost skip to the next paragraph. But if you hear this, if you read this like you've never read it before, it's actually extremely convicting. You can do a ton, it's saying, without love. And yet it's worthless. It's nothing. If I have the gift of prophecy, can fathom all mysteries, all knowledge, I have the faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor, I'm even doing the acts of love, supposedly, give over my body to hardship that I may boast. But if I don't have love, then I gain nothing. And it's like if you had a wedding and everything was perfect, okay? The outfits were perfect. The venue was perfect. The website was fantastic. You had Pastor Aaron preaching. The sermon could not have been better. Everything was perfect, but there was no love between the bride and the groom. Then it's not like, boy, that was a pretty good wedding. I just kind of wish they had, wish they had some love too. It's like, no, the whole thing was then a sham. The whole thing was worthless if you didn't have the love. And that's sort of a picture of evangelism without love. We can actually do an awful lot for the Lord without love in our hearts, but it's not worth something if we don't have that foundation.